A fast-paced montage of classic American cereal commercials from the 90s and 2000s plays out. Happy families, bright sunshine, and smiling cartoon mascots fill the screen. The sound of milk pouring into a bowl plays in slow motion. Suddenly, the screen glitches. The colorful cereal bowls turn into piles of white refined sugar, chemical jars, and toxic hazard symbols as a dramatic, deep bass drop sound effect hits. Every single morning, millions of people across America and around the world start their day with one simple thing: a bowl of cereal. It has become the ultimate modern breakfast staple. Our children look at the friendly cartoon mascots on the boxes, and we, as parents, feel comforted thinking we are giving them a healthy, vitamin-fortified start to their day. But what if I told you that what you're serving as a healthy breakfast is actually an ultra-processed chemical time bomb? The screen displays the phrase, "The Great Breakfast Illusion." The host looks directly at the camera holding a classic, highly recognizable cereal box in one hand and a giant glass jar filled with pure white sugar in the other. The truth is, the aisles of U.S. grocery stores are packed with cereal brands that are little more than a cocktail of refined sugar, synthetic dyes, toxic preservatives, and industrial additives. In fact, many of these exact formulations are completely banned or heavily restricted in Europe and other parts of the world, yet they are sold completely unregulated on U.S. shelves. The cost of consuming these daily: chronic inflammation, massive insulin spikes, brain fog, and severe long-term health risks that are silently eroding our metabolic health. But you don't have to fall victim to the marketing trap. In this deep dive investigation, we are going to unmask the 12 famous U.S. cereal brands you should immediately cross off your grocery list. And make sure to stick around until the end, because we will also highlight the 4 hidden heroes, the genuinely clean, nutrient-dense brands that you can actually trust. Let's expose the multi-billion-dollar breakfast industry and look at the breakdown. A heavy metallic gate slams shut on screen with the text, "The Dirty Dozen." The background transitions to a dark crimson hue as a countdown graphic counts down from 12 to 1. Starting our list at number 12 is Honey Smacks. A high-definition 3D model of the box features Digim Frog. Zooming directly into the nutrition facts label highlights the sugar content in bright red text. With a cheerful, friendly frog plastered on the front, it looks innocent enough. But looking past the mascot reveals a dark reality. Honey Smacks is one of the most sugar-dense cereals in the entire history of the U.S. market. A single cup packs a staggering 18 grams of added sugar. To put that into perspective, that is more sugar than an average milk chocolate candy bar, served to a child first thing in the morning. Over 50% of this cereal's total weight consists of pure refined sugar. Calling this a breakfast grain is a massive stretch. It is breakfast candy, plain and simple. Regular consumption is a direct highway to childhood obesity and early insulin resistance. Number 11 is Lucky Charms. The camera shows a macro close-up shot of the brightly colored marshmallows floating in milk, while overlay text flashes the names of the dyes: red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, blue 1. Famed for its magical marshmallows and iconic leprechaun mascot, this brand relies heavily on childhood nostalgia. But the secret behind those vibrant, colorful marshmallow shapes lies in a cocktail of artificial food dyes, specifically red 40, yellow 5, and yellow 6. These are not harmless food colorings. Multiple independent scientific studies have linked these petroleum-derived synthetic dyes to ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, severe hyperactivity, and behavioral disruptions in children. While the European Union requires warning labels on foods containing these specific dyes, the U.S. continues to let them pass completely unchecked into our morning bowls. At number 10, we have Fruit Loops. An animated loop of Toucan Sam flies across the screen, transitioning into a sterile laboratory setting where synthetic chemical liquids are being mixed into a vat. Toucan Sam's famous catchphrase tells us to follow your nose to the fruity taste. But if you analyze the ingredient deck, you will find that there isn't a single trace of real fruit in the entire box. The flavors are engineered entirely using artificial flavorings and chemical additives. Even worse, Fruit Loops historically utilizes partially hydrogenated oils, otherwise known as trans fats. Trans fats actively raise your bad cholesterol, LDL, lower your good cholesterol, HDL, and act as a direct irritant to the cardiovascular system. Eating this regularly is an unnecessary gamble with your heart health. Number 9 is Cap'n Crunch. The close-up shot shows the abrasive, sharp texture of Cap'n Crunch pieces. The sound effect of a loud crunch plays, followed by a medical graphic illustrating systemic gut inflammation. Not only is this cereal famous for physically scraping the roof of your mouth due to its dense, abrasive texture, but it also does serious undercover damage to your digestive tract. Cap'n Crunch relies heavily on high fructose corn syrup (HFCS) and is preserved using BHT, butylated hydroxytoluene. BHT is an industrial chemical preservative used to prevent the cereal from spoiling or going rancid on store shelves for months on end. However, international health data suggest that BHT acts as a potent endocrine disruptor and is classified as a suspected carcinogen. Ask yourself, is that morning crunch really worth the chemical exposure? Number 8 is Cinnamon Toast Crunch. A visual waterfall of refined sugar and cinnamon dust is shown being dumped onto square wheat grids. The camera zooms into the base of the label showing BHT and trisodium phosphate. Beloved worldwide for its undeniably delicious taste, people particularly love drinking the leftover sweet cinnamon milk. But your body pays a steep price for that flavor profile. Beyond the massive dose of refined sugar, this product contains trisodium phosphate, TSP. If that name sounds familiar, it's because TSP is a heavy-duty industrial cleaning agent and stain remover used in commercial construction. While regulatory bodies claim it is safe in microdoses within food products, the question remains, why should an industrial degreaser be a standard ingredient in your morning meal? Coming in at number 7 is Cocoa Puffs. Deep brown, chocolate-colored cereal spheres tumble into a bowl. A graphic overlay represents a sugar crash timeline, showing energy dropping vertically after 60 minutes. The classic commercial hook says, "I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs." But the only thing this cereal truly drives crazy is your blood sugar stability. Children are led to believe they are eating a wholesome chocolate treat, but they are actually consuming low-grade cocoa powder, heavily stripped of its nutrients, blended with highly processed corn flour, and a massive payload of sugar. Roughly 45 minutes after eating a bowl, a child's blood glucose levels sharply plummet, causing acute brain fog, intense irritability, and immediate cravings for more fast-acting carbohydrates. It's a vicious cycle that begins before the school day even starts. Number 6 is Reese's Puffs. The screen splits to show a Reese's peanut butter candy cup on the left and the cereal box on the right, with a massive mathematical equal sign linking them together. Marketed aggressively as a way to enjoy the goodness of real peanut butter for breakfast, this is nothing more than candy masquerading as a morning cereal grain. The recipe relies on a highly hyper-palatable combination of artificial flavors, high fructose corn syrup, and modified cornstarch. This precise formulation places an immense metabolic burden straight onto your liver. When the liver is forced to process excessive amounts of liquid fructose quickly, it converts it directly into visceral fat, contributing significantly to the rising rates of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, among teenagers and young adults. Number 5 is Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger exclaims his catchphrase. The text, "They're great," appears but morphs into "They're great for insulin resistance." Tony the Tiger asserts that they're great, but from a metabolic standpoint, they are a complete disaster. Frosted Flakes are essentially basic cornflakes coated in a thick, crystallized layer of white refined sugar. The dietary fiber content here is practically non-existent. Without any natural fiber to slow down digestion, your body absorbs the simple carbohydrates almost instantaneously. This forces your pancreas into overdrive to pump out massive amounts of insulin to clear the glucose from your bloodstream, tanking your metabolism in the process. Number 4 is Apple Jacks. Bright green and orange rings fall in slow motion as the camera pans across the ingredient list showing milled corn, sugar, soluble corn fiber, and modified food starch. Despite the prominent use of the word apple in the branding, a quick glance at the ingredients shows that real fruit is practically an afterthought. Apple Jacks relies on a heavy dosage of sugar combined with red 40 and blue 1 synthetic food dyes to create those unnaturally bright green and orange rings. Furthermore, the grains used are heavily milled and refined, meaning the natural fiber, wheat germ, and inherent vitamins are completely obliterated during manufacturing. They are later sprayed with synthetic vitamin isolates, which have a vastly inferior absorption rate compared to real, whole food nutrients. Coming in at number 3 is Cookie Crisp. Miniature chocolate chip cookies bounce inside a white breakfast bowl. A text overlay reads, "Ultra-processed food, UPF, Category 4." The underlying concept of this brand is highly problematic, conditioning young children to accept cookies soaked in milk as a valid breakfast option. This fundamentally hijacks their taste buds, creating an early dependency on ultra-processed, hyper-sweet flavors. From an oil standpoint, it utilizes highly refined canola and soybean oils, which are heavily packed with inflammatory omega-6 fatty acids. When your body's ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 fats becomes completely unbalanced, it triggers systemic, low-grade internal inflammation, the absolute root cause of modern metabolic disease. Number 2 on our list is Trix. Multicolored fruit shapes of Trix cereal fill the frame as bright red warning signs dynamically flash over each distinct color shape. We all know the famous marketing line, "Silly rabbit, Trix are for kids," but the reality is quite grim. Back in 2016, following immense consumer backlash, General Mills actually removed artificial dyes from Trix, shifting to natural plant extracts. But guess what happened? As soon as sales experienced a slight dip due to the colors looking slightly less vibrant, the company completely reversed its stance and brought back the exact same toxic chemical dyes. Yellow 6, red 40, blue 1. This tells you everything you need to know. Corporate profits will always take precedence over the biological health of the consumer. And topping our list at number 1 is Corn Pops. Puffy golden corn pops fall into milk as a stylized 3D chemical structure of hydrogenated fats appears over the bowl. While this cereal looks relatively simple and unpretentious compared to the colorful options, its chemical makeup is deeply concerning. It relies heavily on mono and diglycerides alongside hydrogenated coconut oil to maintain its structure. Worse yet, the corn used is almost exclusively GMO, genetically modified corn, a crop that is heavily sprayed during farming with industrial herbicides like glyphosate, a chemical weed killer continuously linked by international health organizations to serious long-term cellular damage. Eating a bowl of Corn Pops is essentially volunteering for a microdose of industrial agricultural chemicals. The visual aesthetic shifts completely into a bright, clean laboratory or clinical setting. Microscopic views of cells appear, followed by highly structured typography, breaking down the major industrial ingredients found in the dirty dozen. When we look closely at the underlying data, the chemical profile of these traditional breakfast brands becomes genuinely concerning. High fructose corn syrup drives immediate visceral fat accumulation and fast-tracks cellular insulin resistance. Preservatives like BHT and BHA present significant risks for endocrine disruption, while synthetic food colors like red 40 are consistently linked to behavioral issues and hyperactivity in developing children. Perhaps most surprising of all is the widespread inclusion of trisodium phosphate, an industrial cleaning compound that causes severe renal stress and internal tissue irritation when consumed over long periods. Now it is crucial to understand that these 12 brands aren't just bad because they contain a lot of sugar. If sugar were the only problem, a high-intensity workout could theoretically help mitigate some of the damage. The real, underlying danger lies in the hidden industrial additives and harsh processing methods occurring behind the scenes. Let's look closely at the 3 main silent health saboteurs found across these traditional commercial brands. First is the deceptive extrusion process. To turn raw grain into these perfect little uniform shapes, manufacturers put the grains through a massive industrial machine called an extruder. Under extreme high heat and intense pressure, the natural molecular structure of the grain is completely destroyed. This transforms what was once a complex carbohydrate into a highly volatile substance that converts into glucose almost instantly upon entering the body. Second is chronic glyphosate residue. In large-scale American agriculture, non-organic oats and corn are frequently sprayed with glyphosate right before harvest to dry out the crops faster. Independent testing by groups like the Environmental Working Group, EWG, has repeatedly revealed that popular commercial cereals contain glyphosate levels that vastly exceed established safety margins for children's health. Third is synthetic fortification overload. Cereal boxes boast bold health claims like 100% recommended daily value of iron and zinc. But you need to realize these are not naturally occurring vitamins. They are synthetic, lab-isolated chemicals sprayed onto the cereal at the very end of production. In fact, the iron used is often an elemental metallic iron dust, a form that our digestive tracts are not biologically designed to break down efficiently, placing an unnecessary detoxification burden directly on the liver. So this leaves us with a critical question. Is it actually possible to find a convenient, ready-to-eat breakfast cereal that delivers a satisfying crunch without compromising our cellular health? The screen transitions to a bright, nature-inspired aesthetic. Light green, cream, and organic tones fill the frame. Soft, uplifting acoustic background music begins to play. High-definition footage of fresh organic berries, clean plant milks, and natural seeds fills the screen. Fortunately, the news isn't all bad. It's time to shift our focus to the 4 clean heroes of the breakfast aisle. These independent brands are fundamentally rewriting the rules of the cereal industry. They use genuine, whole food ingredients, completely eliminate synthetic dyes and industrial preservatives, and keep their sugar content either at 0 or sourced exclusively from nature. Let's break down the best options available. First on our clean list is 3 Wishes. A beautiful, minimalist shot displays the box as the camera zooms in to show the incredibly clean ingredient list. Chickpeas, tapioca, pea protein, organic cane sugar. This brand is a breath of fresh air in a highly toxic market. The standout innovation here is that their entire line is completely grain-free. Instead of using heavily processed corn, wheat, or low-grade oats, 3 Wishes crafts their crunchy loops using a nutrient-dense base of chickpeas and pea protein. A single serving delivers an impressive 8 grams of clean, plant-based protein with a mere 3 grams of added sugar, which is sourced directly from clean organic cane sugar. There are absolutely no artificial flavors or texturizers used. It delivers that exact classic cereal crunch you miss, without triggering a massive blood sugar spike. If your kids love traditional cereal loops, this is the ultimate direct replacement. Coming in at number 2 is 7 Sundays. Macro footage displays the packaging with real almonds, pumpkin seeds, and wild blueberries falling into a clean white bowl, highlighting the text, "Upcycled sunflower seeds." This brand represents the absolute gold standard of clean food production. Their entire philosophy revolves around keeping food minimal and honest, which is why their cereals contain 0 refined sugar. When a recipe calls for a touch of sweetness, they rely exclusively on real dates or pure maple syrup. Their innovative grain-free product line utilizes a brilliant blend of upcycled sunflower seeds, cassava root, and raw pumpkin seeds. This means that every single bite you take provides your body with healthy, unrefined fats, natural dietary fiber, and essential minerals that actively support a healthy gut microbiome. This is real, sustainable fuel that keeps your energy perfectly level all morning long. If you are someone who truly misses classic, crunchy flakes like traditional corn flakes or frosted flakes, your absolute best alternative at number 3 is Nature's Path Organic Heritage Flakes. High-definition images of ancient grains like kamut khorasan, quinoa, and spelt transition seamlessly into a shot of the box. This product proudly carries the USDA-certified organic seal, which gives you complete peace of mind that the grains are entirely free from glyphosate and dangerous synthetic pesticides. Instead of relying on cheap, subsidized monoculture corn, these flakes are forged from a blend of ancient grains including kamut khorasan wheat, spelt, barley, millet, and quinoa. It delivers a substantial 5 grams of naturally occurring dietary fiber per serving with almost no sugar. It's exceptionally crunchy, deeply satisfying, and completely transparent. Rounding out our clean list at number 4 is Magic Spoon. The camera showcases the vibrant, modern box designs and highlights the impressive macronutrient breakdown. 13G protein, 4G net carbs, 0G sugar. For anyone currently following a low-carb lifestyle, a ketogenic diet, or simply trying to prioritize high-protein intake for fitness, Magic Spoon is an absolute game-changer. It looks, feels, and tastes exactly like the highly hyper-palatable cereals of your childhood, like Fruit Loops or Cocoa Puffs, but the nutritional profile is astonishing. 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and only 4 grams of net carbs. To achieve their sweet flavor profile without harming your metabolism, they use natural 0-calorie sweeteners like allulose and monk fruit extract, which pass through the body without triggering an insulin response. It is a premium option, but the investment in your metabolic health is well worth it. The host returns to the center of the frame. A large, clean digital graphic of a standard nutrition label appears right next to him. Bright red boxes highlight the specific sections in real time as he mentions them. The next time you walk down the breakfast aisle of a grocery store, you shouldn't have to guess whether a brand is safe. I want to equip you with a quick, 3-step label evaluation tool so you can confidently judge any cereal box on the shelves in real time. To successfully execute this rapid scan, your first priority must always be inspecting the top 3 items on the ingredient deck. Because ingredients are legally organized by weight, you should immediately put the box back if sugar, corn flour, or high fructose corn syrup occupy the top spots. Your second step is to quickly evaluate the internal sugar-to-fiber ratio, making sure the product offers high natural fiber while keeping added sugars strictly under 5 grams per serving. Finally, finish your scan by looking for chemical red flags at the bottom of the list, automatically rejecting any product that features synthetic processing dyes, dangerous industrial preservatives like BHT, or harsh binding chemicals like trisodium phosphate. A cinematic slow camera tracking shot moves back in on the host. Ambient, thoughtful background music builds up gently as clean typography animations display the channel's subscription elements. At the end of the day, how you fuel your body first thing in the morning dictates your focus, your energy levels, and your long-term health trajectory. The massive corporate entities dominating the food industry aren't looking out for your biological well-being. They are looking out for their bottom line. But you hold the ultimate power, the power of choice and education. Making one small switch at the grocery store can protect you and your family from a lifetime of metabolic complications. I want to hear from you down in the comments. What is the current go-to cereal brand sitting in your kitchen pantry right now? And did it end up on our Dirty Dozen list? If you found this investigative breakdown valuable, please hit that like button and share this video with your friends and family members to help them break free from the breakfast sugar trap. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more honest, evidence-based food analytics and health deep dives. Stay informed, eat clean, and take control of your health. I will see you in the next video. A standard professional outro template displays links to related health documentaries on the channel. Social media handles cleanly fade in as the audio gradually fades out completely.